This week is all about the Republican Party, but there's also quite a bit of news on the other side of the aisle. We're learning today President Biden testing positive for COVID just hours ago, and there's growing pressure for him to drop out of the presidential race tonight with warnings from top Democrats. Let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killion. She is in Washington. Nicole, help us out here, because there has been some reporting that Chuck Schumer, who is the Democratic leader in the Senate, that he had a conversation with Joe Biden. What do we know? Did he ask Joe Biden to bow out of the race?
Well, a spokesperson for Leader Schumer says that this is just idle speculation and says that the leader simply conveyed the concerns of his caucus to the president. And that is our basic understanding of some of these conversations that have taken place. We obviously know that Leader Schumer met with President Biden at his Rehoboth home over the weekend. Prior to that, Leader Hakeem Jeffries in the House also met privately with the president at the White House. After that meeting, Jeffries released a letter to his members saying that he expressed the full breadth of insight, heartfelt perspectives, and conclusions about the path forward. Tonight, his office insisting that that letter still speaks for itself and says that this was a private conversation.
And so, Nicole, what's your sense, though, whether they specifically asked the president to bow out of the race or just conveyed the feelings of the members? What are the feelings of many of the Democratic lawmakers?
Well, I think to that point, we know that congressional Democrats remain fractured. I mean, just today you had California Congressman Adam Schiff become the latest congressional Democrat to call on the president to withdraw from this race, saying that he has serious concerns about the president's ability to beat former President Donald Trump in November, and that it is time for him to pass the torch. And that is pretty significant. He's certainly one of the most prominent Democrats to come out to date. We're now up to nearly 24 Democrats who have expressed their concerns. And even though Democrats kind of tamped down their criticism of the president in the wake of that assassination attempt against former President Trump, we are starting to see some of those concerns bubble up again to the surface this week.
Nicole Killion, thank you so much for that reporting. Want to bring in John Dickerson. And John, who do you think in the Democratic Party could go to Joe Biden and say, look, we're reaching a boiling point?
Well, one of the hands at work here is, of course, Speaker Emeritus Nancy Pelosi, and a lot of people see her behind Congressman Adam Schiff's announcement today. He's running for Senate in California, and I happened to talk to Susan Page of USA Today, who is Nancy Pelosi's biographer, and she reminded me again what we all know, which is while Nancy Pelosi has affection for President Biden, as Susan put it, Nancy Pelosi is not sentimental when it comes to politics. And she knows how to count votes, and particularly she knows about the status of those House members and how they will do in those tight districts. So she is working behind the scenes. And in terms of who could actually go to the president, I think it's going to have to be somebody in the family. But the tonnage of people coming from the money side saying the money might dry up, these public daily almost announcements, and then leaders in Congress, are going to inch it along to a realization that the family may have to draw a conclusion that there's no other way.
John Dickerson, thank you. And Margaret Brennan, any indication that Speaker Emeritus Pelosi has had that conversation with the president?
Well, we know that she and Leader Schumer have had some conversations, but whether that is you must step aside is not what we are reporting at this moment. She is nodding to Democrats to speak their mind. And those who have, particularly in the new Democratic caucus meeting that happened on Saturday, were very clear with the president that they think they will lose.
Very quickly, a source close to Speaker Pelosi said she was not briefed on Congressman Schiff publishing that op-ed calling for President Biden to drop out. And the White House is pushing back tonight behind the scenes. My top sources there say the president told Leader Schumer, and he's told others he is the nominee. That's the status of those in Biden's inner circle. Of course, there's a lot of movement in these discussions.
This is quite a story. We're going to have more reporting in just a moment.